you just got to do what you want to do. And if like talking to me is something you want to do, and you're getting to know me is something you want to do, then, do you know what I mean? Just as long as you're open and honest about it. Like.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You can go off me now.
Yeah, exactly. It's the reverse of Casa.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 31. We do not count the unseen bits, that's why it's numbered this way. And let me get right into the video because this episode was dead. It was boring, it was snooze fest. It was just like, the season started out really high, and then after Casa, going downhill. And I don't know if they can ever recover. I don't know what's going to make it recover right now. But let me get right into the video. Also, we finally are getting word about Love Island USA starting on July 18th. We're going to find out who the new, contestants are going to be on the show. So, obviously, if anybody knows, I do my reviews on Love Island USA as well. So, stay tuned. But now we're still in the UK. And this episode was boring. Basically, they were talking about movie night. Everybody was still talking about movie night. It was just basically Ty and Ella. They were basically over it. They didn't want to argue about the whole situation, so they were just done. Jess is still upset because of the whole Mal comment. He said to Mal about him liking Mal more than her after 3 days and whatnot. Leah and Montel situation, yeah. They went to sleep. Afterwards, they went to sleep. It is what it is. The only thing that was, basically the big situation of the episode was that the guys were basically talking about how Mitchell is basically sneaky. He shouldn't be, he's messing up the bro code. He's not supposed to bring down one guy to uplift another guy, especially if you live together in the same villa for 6 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever. So they were just like, what is he doing? So Sammy and Zach were the people who were actually upset with him, but all the guys were agreeing that, what he did was very mad. So they went to sleep. Everybody went to sleep, whatever. Before he went to sleep, we hear Leah and Catherine basically saying how what Scott said was disrespectful. And Scott actually overheard them. That was the funny thing. He actually overheard them. And then Leah was like, oh, it's Scott doesn't even know what he was, why he said what he said. Scott told you in the beginning of the conversation with you that he said that, did you understand what you said to me? I don't think, is Leah okay? I don't understand. She's the reason why he made that comeback to you is because you were the one who actually brought up the whole nobody wanted you and blah, 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 during Casa, so that's why he came back saying, da-da-da-da-da. That's why he clapped back at you. Come on, he didn't say this out thin air. He said that as a clap back. Pipe down. Anyway, they wake up in the morning. It's, basically a boring day. Jess is still upset with Sammy. She just, she wants a proper apology from him and whatnot. I think by time nighttime comes, Montel, he does this big old, terrorist speech to, Leah. He basically took a page out of Tanya's book. She's like, because I embarrassed you, I'm going to embarrass myself. And he did his whole, oh, da-da-da, to Leah. And everybody's like, oh, cheering Leah and Montel on or whatever. It is what it is. So there's that. So everybody's like, oh, happy for Leah and Montel. They're back together. Everything is all smooth. Ty and Ella, smooth. Jess and Sammy, they're trying to be smooth, but obviously they're gonna get back together. It is what it is. Whitney and Lockham, they seem like they're doing okay. We don't really see much of them. Same with Catherine and Elon. We don't see much of them, but they seem like whatever they're doing, anyway. So Mitchell and Abby, they seem to be doing okay. Abby and Scott were just chatting, and he basically told Abby verbatim what everybody knew.
Love Island is proud to present Scott, the first man in history to wish he'd behaved worse during Casa Amor.
Yeah, you never seen me before this. Like, I was having the best time of my life before Casa. You can't regret what you did at the time because you felt it was right at the time. But in hindsight now, I wish I had have gone to Gabby.
Really?
I wish I'd have brought her back. Yeah, I never actually like went for it. Like in our conversation, we just sat down and it was like. It was just normal conversation. I never tried to flirt or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I never put any flirt in it.
Scott basically said that he wished he would have tried more in Casa more because he wished he would have brought Gabby back. You know, that's what he told Abby. He told her this. He was like, you know what? And then he wished he should have done that because I think a lot of the girls actually wanted to get to know Scott, but Scott was not receptive of it. He actually just was focusing on Catherine. He wasn't too much in the whole, you know, getting to know people like that. He was just basically closed off. And then I think Abby was just like, you know, wait till another bombshell comes in, this and this and that. He said that, you know, he had the best time of his life before Casa, which is just so sad because he really, really liked Catherine. I think he still does to some degree, but he really liked Catherine, and just this whole situation really blindsided. I think this is the only time I actually know that for for an entire week or maybe 5 days, Scott's been single. Like, Scott's been single. Like, nobody, you know, he thought after the whole Casamore stuff, he would have got his girl back or whatever. But Scott's been single. He's been sleeping on this twin-size bed. You know, it is what it is. He's just trying to live in this villa. To be honest, I don't think he's going to give up because everyone thinks that he's going to walk out the villa. But I just think that they need to get a lot of these people out the villa. So there's going to be like a mass dumping, which I think 4 people are going to leave because they can't bring any more people in that villa because there's 16 people in that villa. It wouldn't make sense to bring anybody in. So before they bring anybody in, they're going to have to dump like 4 people before they bring like a couple of bombshells in. So they go back to sleep again. That's how boring this episode. We see them go to sleep twice. Like, you know how boring an episode has to be to see them go to sleep not once but twice and wake up in the morning? They wake up in the morning and Scott's too funny. Scott's too funny because, you know, Mitchell was just like, I hope Scott doesn't come into bed. I hope Scott doesn't come in our bed, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know what Scott does? He goes straight to Abby and Mitchell's bed and just sits in the middle, whatever. And, you know, Mitchell's so annoyed because the guys were basically, I guess, egging Mitch on. He's like, oh, are you worried about Scott? And he's like, oh, there's nothing to worry about with him. Like, I don't have nothing to worry about with him, da-da-da-da. Like, it's like me talking to Ella. Like, do you think you have anything to worry about if I talk to Ella? Da-da-da-da. And he's just like, oh, there's nothing to worry about with Scott. Like, you know, I don't really care, da-da-da-da. So then I guess that was going through his head because next morning you hear him basically saying he doesn't want Scott in the bed of Abby and Mitchell. Next morning, we basically see the couples doing the couples. Next thing you know, we see Scott basically laying on the daybed with Tyreek and Ella. And basically Ella, like Ella does, she basically is asking Scott, like, oh, do you have a connection with Abby and this and that?
Well, I get on with her really well. Like, we have good conversations and that. It's just never crossed the line with it.
I just want you to do what's good for you, bro. Go home with 0 regrets. Just go test the waters.
Yeah.
Do you want to go and talk?
I was locked in there. Yeah, come.
And, you know, trying to gauge what Scott's thinking. Like, she does this all the time. Like, she did this previously in the past. And Scott just, like, he has good chat with her. Like, there's probably a connection or whatever. Like, you know, probably on friend vibes or whatever. And then as soon as he, like, was talking to her, Abby comes out and basically pulls Scott for a chat. So he didn't even have to do anything. Abby just pulls him for the chat. So we were talking, and basically we're just basically saying, like, you know, maybe there's a connection there. Let's try to, like, explore it, whatever. So they were like, oh, you should talk to Mitchell. So she pulls Mitchell after the conversation, and then Mitchell's just like, you know, okay with it. So then Abby pulls Scott again, and they're laying on separate daybeds, just chatting. And, you know, Abby's laughing, whatever, you know, Scott's just talking. And next thing you know, you just see the whole group of people sitting under the sun deck or whatever, chatting. And we see Mitchell, like, he's so mad. Like, his face is so screwed. Like he's upset. We see Whitney saying like, oh, you know, you have a better personality, I guess, or something like that about his personality. I guess Mitchell's personality is better than Scott. I don't know, but that's what Whitney said. And then you see, like, I'm like, why is Kat asking about the whole situation? But basically, what has said is that Scott was just like, he's just trying to explore the connection with Abby. That's all he's trying to do. So when Mitchell relayed the information, Whitney and Catherine were shocked, like, oh, you want to get to know Abby now? And, like, I'm just like, you guys are in your couples. Catherine's in with Elam. Whitney's with Lockham. Like, why is she so surprised, and why is she putting that personality thing at Mitchell? Because I bet you if Scott was actually open, I think Abby would have been, you know, Scott would have been Abby's first choice. Like, let's keep it a buck here. So, but now that, you know, it seems like there's no going back to Catherine now, you know, they're all happy. Like, okay, let's crack on to Scott. And that's what it is. Anyway, I think Scott's he's just basically exploring. I don't think he really likes Abby. I just think that he's getting along with her, and it's actually something fun for now. But the funny thing in that conversation that he said, he asked Abby if she had a fiery side, and he was like, oh, all you have to do is yell in my face and he will fall in love with her. And I'm just like, bro.
With the fiery side.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
Gotta have a bit, do you know what I mean? You've got to be like a little bit crazy.
I'm yet to see it yet though. Should I be scared?
Yeah, probably.
I'd like, I need a girl that gives me a bit back, so
Yeah.
just scream in my face and I fall in love.
Yeah.
Like, he's so down bad for Catherine. Like, bro, he's still liking Catherine. Like, what do you mean yell in your face? Like, are you okay, Scott? Are you okay? But yeah, there's still feelings for Catherine, but the fact that she ended it after that third conversation and she basically, like, closed it off with him, it's over. But I'm just like, why are they in his business? Like, why is it so bad that Abby and Scott are getting to know each other? Like, is that a crime? Like, just because Mitchell brought Abby back to the villa doesn't mean that they're locked down. Like, we're glad that Mitchell has somebody that he likes for once and likes him back, but doesn't mean that they're locked down. They're very much a fresh couple. Like, you can be taken if the person wants to be taken, okay? And Abby definitely, she's giving that feelers out that she definitely is not settled down with Mitch. But I don't know why these other Islanders are, like, upset that, you know, Scott and Abby are having, you know, a chat, you know, getting to know each other. Like, what is Scott supposed to do? We basically see Katie and Uzi are chatting, and, you know, everybody's happy for Katie and Uzi. Like, oh, Katie, Uzi. So that's a thing. So I'm just like, Scott's single. What is he supposed to do? Just has Sammy. Tyreek is back with Ella, even though he's still single. So what's Scott supposed to be doing? Like, sit around? Like, he's been in that villa for over maybe 5 days after Castle Moore recoupling. Like, is he not supposed to get to know other people? Like, Amber is single too. Amber's literally furniture. Like, we haven't even seen Amber try to get to know anybody, but because, you know, Sammy already mugged her off, you know, it is what it is. But this was a dead episode. We see the preview for tomorrow night, and basically it basically shows that they're gonna call the Islanders to the fire pit. So I don't know what's gonna happen, because there hasn't been a vote. And if it's going to be a recoupling, then after that recoupling, there's going to be a vote afterwards, because it is what it is. Anyway, this was episode 31 of Love Island Season 10 review. And anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts and concerns. And subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.